Straight ahead, Vilas County is celebrating the expansion of broadband. We'll tell you what areas will benefit. Plus, dozens of deer at a Taylor County deer farm test positive for chronic wasting disease. What's next for the farm owner? And travelers going through a local airport will see some changes to flight schedules. We'll have the details as your local news starts right now.
Your local news and weather from where you live. Newswatch 12 at 10 starts now.
Good evening and welcome to Newswatch 12. I'm Morgan Johnson. Officials from Charter Spectrum joined a group of Vilas County leaders to celebrate a fiber optic network building project. The project will ultimately bring high-speed broadband and other Spectrum services to nearly 700 homes and small businesses in Eagle River and outlying areas, including the town of Lincoln and town of Washington. This follows the completion of a $1.1 million public-private network expansion project. Bill Marshall is a resident of the town of Lincoln and broadband committee chair. He says having high-speed internet is crucial for small towns to grow.
It's tantamount to rural electrification in the 30s and 40s. And we're doing the same thing now. Broadband is just as important as electricity was back then.
The majority of construction has been completed this summer, with many residents already signing up for Spectrum service. Spectrum serves 32 million customers in 41 states. Meteorologist Conrad Sapinski joins us now. Conrad, kind of a gloomy day and a little chilly.
Yeah, it was definitely a chilly one out there today, Morgan. I actually had my long sleeve shirt out because it was in the 60s. Earlier in the morning, though, it was a lot cooler than that. Right now, we're even cooler. We're in the 50s right now. Even some lower 50s, some 40s will be showing up here very, very shortly. Still some 60s down south closer to Wausau, of course, down by the Rapids. Some mid-60s at that. Some upper 60s actually by Green Bay. So it's not looking too bad right now. Just the Northwoods, I'd say, is a little bit on the cooler end. Tomorrow, though, get ready. We're going to have some really warm temperatures all across the UP. The Northwoods is going to be in on some upper 70s. Even some 80s will be showing up there all across the state. By Adams, by Rapids, and by Wausau, temperatures are showing that they're going to be in the upper 70s. There will be some 80s at that, so get ready. Bring out the sunscreen. The sun will be out tomorrow. I know today we had some cloud cover, a couple of sprinkles just south of us, especially south of Wausau earlier today. Most of that is gone and will continue to clear out and cool off overnight with temperatures in the upper 40s. Morgan?
USDA Wildlife Services reports wolves killed 4 dogs in Bayfield County on August 22nd. Wolves depredated 2 hounds in the town of Delta. Wolves also killed 2 more hounds in the town of Barksdale, all in Bayfield County. Dog owners are reminded to exercise caution in wolf-occupied areas. Conflicts between hunting dogs and wolves are most common during the bear training and hunting season. Anyone suspecting a wolf attack should contact the DNR. A Taylor County deer farm that tested positive for chronic wasting disease has been depopulated. Of the 238 animals tested on the farm, 61 were positive for the disease. In 2021, a 6-year-old white-tailed doe tested positive for CWD at the 22-acre farm. All animals were immediately quarantined, meaning no live animals or carcasses were allowed to leave the property. The farm owner will receive financial compensation for the depopulated animals. The farm will not be permitted to hold deer for 5 years, and during that period it must maintain fences and have routine inspections. An accident occurred early this afternoon in Eagle River on Highway 70, slowing down traffic and cutting power. Witnesses told Newswatch 12 that it involved 2 pickup trucks, one of which rear-ended the other. The crash slowed traffic down near the Edgewater Inn on the west side of Eagle River. One of the utility vehicles hit a utility box, cutting power for the immediate area. According to the WPS outage map, all power has been restored. No word yet from local law enforcement on any injuries. Delta Airlines will be changing their schedule for flights coming in and out of the Rhinelander Airport. Departure and arrival times between Rhinelander and Minneapolis will be changed starting on September 12th. Delta will also be adding a temporary routine between Rhinelander and Detroit during a roughly one month period. Airport Director Matthew Leitner says the changes could be confusing for regular travelers.
Travelers have gotten used to our existing schedule, and then there's going to be this brief change for 3 weeks, that we're going to have a flight to Detroit, and then we'll be back to what we've had for the last year, essentially.
The changing times of the Minneapolis flights and info for the Detroit ones is detailed on our website, WJFW.com. Governor Tony Evers invested $18 million into Wausau through pandemic relief efforts, and a lot of that money went to downtown small businesses. Today, the Wisconsin Department of Administration Secretary-designee Kathy Blumenfeld met with Wausau Mayor Katie Rosenberg and members of the local Chamber of Commerce to tour downtown Wausau. The tour made stops at several local businesses, including Ebony Fashions, a fashion shop opened thanks in part to a $10,000 Main Street Bounce Back program.
We think that Wisconsin is the jewel of our nation, and so everything we're doing now will build on Wisconsin's success for generations to come. And I think Wisconsin is going to be that destination where everybody wants to come.
The tour also stopped at the Mint Cafe, a Wausau business that received $21,000 in pandemic relief funding. 8 Wisconsin inmates are suing the governor and the state's public defender office. They say they couldn't get counsel in a timely manner, delaying their trials and harming their defense. One of the plaintiffs in the lawsuit was arrested on July 11th, but he didn't have a preliminary hearing until August 23rd. Nick Bohr spoke to his girlfriend about the lawsuits.
Well, his rights were violated.
Mindy Norton's boyfriend, Dwight Moore of Milwaukee, had to wait 6 weeks in the county jail to get a lawyer when it's only supposed to take 2.
He was called in for his preliminary hearing, and they canceled it on him. They adjourned it without even calling him into court because he didn't have a public defender.
State of Wisconsin versus.
It's the state's responsibility to pay for a lawyer for people accused of a crime who can't afford one. But 8 defendants across Wisconsin, including Moore, are suing the governor and public defender's office, saying they've faced delays that jeopardize their defense. Moore's aunt says he spent an extra month in jail waiting for a lawyer to even ask for a lower bail on an armed robbery charge.
And this ain't gonna be nothing but a lawsuit. They making it hard for themselves too.
Because people are going to be suing over the fact they didn't have a lawyer.
That's right. That's right.
The lawyers bringing the lawsuit say Moore is among thousands of indigent defendants forced to wait months or more to get a lawyer, and it's been getting worse for years.
The public defender office, which was created to meet our state's constitutional obligations to provide counsel, has been chronically underfunded. And everybody knows it.
The lawyers hope this lawsuit will force the state to increase public defender funding, affecting an estimated 35,000 defendants, just like Dwight Moore.
Apparently because there's not enough public defenders to go around with the criminal system, so he's just sitting there.
The lawsuit isn't asking for monetary damages. Instead, the attorneys request that criminal charges be dropped if a public defender isn't appointed within 14 days of a defendant's initial appearance. No hearings on this case have been scheduled yet. A local fire department is looking to be more prepared when disaster strikes. Coming up, we'll see how they're equipping the community with the life-saving tools. That's after weather right here on Newswatch 12.